welcome. This is Enterprise Friday, reaching you from Enterprise Television. I am Henry Ikwebike. We'll be starting off today, as usual, with all that we have from our newspaper headlines. And right after that is our main conversation also for today. Please do well to follow us. You can always find and reach us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. We're very honored to have with us today, joining us via Zoom from Atlanta, Georgia, Barrister Vansu Feli, Barrister at Law, Public Affairs Analyst. And also we have in our studios, Emeka Madunago, Journalist, Public Affairs Analyst. Good morning to you, gentlemen.
Well, my pleasure, yes.
Welcome. All right, yes, good morning. So let's start off with the first daily on our desk, the Vanguard newspaper. We have lots of interesting stories here. On the very bottom of the newspaper, influx of ISWAP, Boko Haram, Southwest governors, more creation of joint security outfits, and also we have a loan controversy on Nosonya goes to court to clear his name. On the very top strip here we have Oyetola reaffirms commitment to marine resource development. On telecommunication, MTN backpedals, reverses 200% data tariff hike. Our talking point for today: visa denial, Canada can go to hell, Ribadu defense chief stated. Barrister Vansu Feli, let's speak to this particular matter. How bad do you think this statement is when we talk about diplomacy in between both countries, Nigeria and Canada?
Well, I think Ribado's issue stems from Brazilian's entitlement. The kind of thing they get away with in Nigeria here, they think they can get away with that all over the world. Now, visa issuance is at the discretion of the state, the country they are going to. For our leaders feel that since a general is involved, or whoever is in the army, anywhere he wants to go to, you'll be grant visa to him and all that. It's not like that. The immigration issue, we need to find out the details of this. Does it have complete documentation? Did they do the right thing? Okay? Or just that we should just give visa because he's in the army, in the Nigerian army, and every other thing should be secondary consideration. Every other consideration should be shut down because an army officer applied for visa. Okay? Then what do you mean? You shouldn't just say go to hell. Go to hell is not a diplomatic approach. Okay, and you are burning down the bridge, or you are trying to, by one action foreclose the entire cause. Let's talk about what is even going there to do. It's going there to celebrate who exactly. How about our own heroes here? I mean, who have fought tirelessly without adequate pay. And even when they die, their families are displaced. How are those people? Have you gone to visit all of them, morally speaking? What have you done to them? Want to go to Canada and separate games and rest of that? So, for me, the reason is self-serving, is hypocritical. I support the rejection of that visa. You should not get any visa to go to anywhere. Fix the country where you are. Pick one country. Okay, not go to anywhere. The decision is quite very good. Then the response from the National Security Advisor is unfortunate and much more embarrassing to the country than the action of rejection. Okay, you do not come to a man's territory to determine or decide for him how he will conduct his business with you. Okay. If you have not conducted yourself properly, no matter who you are in the army, anywhere in the world, they will reject you visa. So I think that should be made clear. It should not become one issue that will not begin to express background and bitterness just because is he the only one that will reject visa? Do you know how many people that were rejected alongside him who probably not do the right thing? Okay, I don't think this is even a story that should be considered in any kind of discussion.
Yeah, it's very true. Emeka, of course, it's just like Barrister did say, he is not the only one. He rightly said that about half of those who applied got the visas, but him and others didn't get it. But let's talk about the reasons why they were even jetting out to Canada. Remember, a couple of years back, the Duke of Sussex actually made his stop in Nigeria. That's Prince Harry and his wife, and they came for a remembrance, armed forces remembrance, a project that he had going on, and that was the reason they were invited to Canada to celebrate that. Now, speaking to that event, do you think, knowing the importance of that event, do you think Canada would have at least pedaled down on that, whatever it is that was the excuse to denying that?
No, some members of the delegation are already in Canada. So it's just some other members who are denying the visa.
Plus him, plus Musa himself.
Yes, Musa, yes.
Which is the figurehead. He's like very pivotal to make.
Doesn't Nigeria deny people visas? You see, there's a problem with no Ribado. I'm worried, honestly speaking, because right from his EFCC days, there is this arrogant air. This arrogant air with which he operates that makes me wonder that this man is in government. There'll be a problem. Honestly, because I've worked with him at a very close range. I mean, the way he ran the EFCC under Obasanjo, basically illegal actions, unlawful actions were taken then. So, and then look at what he's saying, that they can go to hell. Canada, one of the top nations of the world, listen, they will send you to hell ahead. Yes. Because you know what? He was saying is disrespectful. What is disrespectful? You are just a nation, like they are a nation, and they have a right, And one thing is this: he should also, I would advise Ribado to go and get, some lessons in diplomatics, because there are certain things that should not be heard from top officials of Nigerian government. It's hard, all of them. Whether Tinubu, whether Shetima, look at the way they speak. You see the kind of language they deploy. Look at the other day what Shetima was saying about Kemi Badenoch. So that tells you that these people think they are dealing with ordinary Nigerians. But he should know that the denial of that visa, Canada just carried out its own function. Tomorrow they may decide to give them visas.
But Minister Ojo said that this should rather be a matter of reciprocity, that knowing the high caliber of those that were applying for that visa, that at least the embassy here should have at least, doubled down to not to have disgraced not just Musa himself, but Nigeria in its entirety. That was actually what the Minister of Interior did say yesterday.
Go and make your inquiries. Getting Nigeria visa is one of the most difficult in the world. They put all kinds of conditions before you. Ask around now, people want to come to Nigeria. It's difficult getting Nigerian visa. It's even expensive. So what are they talking about? The reciprocal. What is that? So ordinary Nigerians who have been denied, you see the problem with these people, they are so selfish. So selfish. Ordinary Nigerians have been denied visas every day. Ordinary Nigerians, it doesn't matter to them. People have been talking about how they even got visas. At the point of entry, one thing or the other was brought up and they were deported. It never bothered them. But now that they've tasted, they are getting angry. Yeah, let it get them angry enough to know what ordinary Nigerians suffer. I don't bother about. Let them even deny them more visas. Let more nations deny them visas. Let them sit here, junketing all over the world, wasting our scarce resources, money that Nigeria doesn't have. What are they going to Canada to do? We have the High Commission there. Can't they represent us? Must they go with that big delegation to go and do what? Okay, now that they are not attending the event, will the event hold? Is the event not holding? All these guys, let them realize one thing. Donald Trump, by his actions as US president, has shown that, look, you can't force me to be your friend. That's the truth. There must be terms and conditions for me to be your friend. And I have to place myself on a high pedestal when relating with you because I can. You understand? Because I can. But Nigeria cannot wield that influence. Not even among African nations. Niger, as small as Niger is, radioed the aircraft of Tinubu that they should leave their airspace immediately. Niger. So if Nigeria could do that to you, Canada will in fact even return all your officials that they can even deport them immediately. You should know, make yourself respectable in the world. Make yourself respectable on the international stage. Then people will relate with you on reciprocity. Not the kinds of things they are hearing. You are padding budgets, you know, you are buying, the president is buying a jet. When people are hungry, you're not paying minimum wage. President is buying a new official car. They read all these things. You say it's Nigeria, the casting Nigeria in a bad light. You think they are stupid. They read all these things. And then they make their deductions, their submissions and said, is this the kind of people we should relate with? No. So they will deny you their visa again and again and again.
All right, let's see how that goes though. Of course, we hope to hear or have a formal statement from the embassy right here in Nigeria. But let's move on to the Punch newspaper. The big story: 54.99 trillion naira budget. Expert list the funding hurdles as debt servicing takes 14 trillion naira. On the bottom strip here, loan controversy on Nosonya defends self in court. But Stefan Sufeli, help bring us up to speed on this particular matter. What's going on here?
Which of the issue?
On Nosonya, defends self in court on the loan controversy.
Well, you see, the fact that the government keep borrowing, okay, and keep announcing it's going to borrow more, and nobody's talking about the repayment plan. And this country are borrowing money for their terms and conditions. Okay, the country is not even growing bigger in terms of projections or in terms of the availability of resources or the likelihood of repayment or proper debt servicing. Because when you look at our budgets, vis-a-vis the kind of loan that they are taking, and you benchmark it with the projections, okay, and you look at the budget and what capital expenditure entails, and what the current expenditure entails, and you look at statutory transfers, you will not notice that it's just everything is edging at the brink of collapse. Okay, so now when you now begin to talk about how to then put all this together and wrap it up into possibilities of sustenance with that level of it becomes very, very difficult. And the government is still expanding in terms of its spending. It has not cut down on spending. Wasteful ones, real wasteful spendings, like the budget of the aircraft and the budget of cars for legislators, ministers, and that. There's still humongous spending. Okay, if only they can cut down on the cost of that, it would have gone a long way to ameliorate the problems under reference. But no, government officials still want to live bogus life. They want to have cars retinue, they want to have convoys, they want to be buying fuel and that, dragging us backward and downward. So good luck to him. He should be able to do what he's expected to do.
All right, Emeka, let's talk about this very important issue. It's been ravaging the southeast of Nigeria particularly, and Yahoo boys are now involved in rituals, killings, banditry. EFCC chair stated Anambra State in particular has been on the brink of this issue, and of course we can see what Governor Professor Chukwuma Soludo is doing right now. Speak to us on this matter, but most importantly, how do we draw the gap between our culture and what it seems to be now, where people have abused it, and right now the state is coming against it, and a lot of people are complaining?
Well, when there was a time some years ago when it was said that Yahoo's internet fraud was no longer profitable. So that they were now moving to what they call G plus.
Yahoo Plus.
Yahoo Plus. They call them G boys. Okay. So Yahoo Plus. Then Yahoo Plus Plus, which was rituals and organ harvesting. But it looked like it was just jokes. It was just a joke. Young girls, they were preying on young girls. But the interesting thing was that these guys, maybe 6 years ago or so, a lot of these guys were moving quietly to different parts of the country, particularly the southeast, to evade EFCC scrutiny. Because some of those places, like in the southeast, some of those quiet villages that, don't have too many people around except around festive period. So they could just go, rent a house, pay the landlord such outlandish rents and live there, run there. Nobody will disturb them because you're in your compound now. You have dogs. So nobody's coming close to the car. Nobody's asking you questions. Now they started growing in their numbers. Because they said the harassment from the police in places like Lagos, and all of that, Abuja was becoming too much. So now, what happened? Initially, it was said that it was Fulani herdsmen who were causing problems in the southeast. Then, okay, now IPOB, now said they were going to set up ESN, Eastern Security Network, to drive out the Fulani herdsmen. From there, those guys, the ESN guys, now saw, this is good business, and they themselves took over.
Allegedly.
No, it's not. You can call it allegedly or anything.
Because the IPOB, ESN members have constantly come out to say they don't get themselves involved in this particular matter. There is going against, what's the...
Well, they can say anything they like, but also the revelations by security agency, by governments in the southeast, have brought out all of these things. That's not even where I'm going to. Some of the guys within ESN, I'm not talking about the guys, some of the guys were accused of putting their hands in the very things they were supposed to stop. Then along the line, other elements, these Yahoo boys now saw a golden opportunity, if you call it that, to just take over completely. So while government was fighting with IPOB and ESN, so that term, and that's part of the problem. I blame the media and I also blame the security agencies. The term unknown gunmen just came up. Who are unknown gunmen? People who are criminals. You are arresting, so why not let them lead you to others? You are calling them unknown gunmen. So criminals are now emboldened, and a lot of these boys are young boys who had nothing doing. Then another set of people. Suddenly, women started leaving their husbands, leaving their jobs, young women, and going to do what they call ZY, diviners. Then you have people going into Idibia. It was a wave. I'm just telling you about what happened. This was what happened, what I observed. There was this talk that people are now going into Idibia. People say we are going back to the region of our forefathers, Omenani. So it looked like a joke. I don't mind them and all of that. But gradually, things were happening. Then the rivers, they will now turn the rivers and streams in our communities to their consultation offices. I can tell you, as a matter of fact, that times I traveled to some places in the southeast, I saw women and men, they were bathing naked. This one, I'm not naked, clearly. As we are driving past, we saw women bathing naked in the rivers. This is an abomination now. This is abominable. So how can you be batting? And they are not small girls. So these are people you may see, maybe even people's wives also, having a bath. Men batting them. And all of these things now became a big problem. So some people who went into this fetishism, now we're now advertising on this Ibobo and some of these things, telling young men that they could make money quickly. So all of these things came together and the Southeast now exploded. But the sad thing was that the governors didn't understand what was going on. Because like they say in the Southeast, that some of these positions are nattered men. When you say nattered men, that is people who came from outside. People who live outside, who don't live at home, they're not home based, so they don't know what is happening. So as nattered men, they were just looking at it that, it was gradually that their eyes began to open that it is not what you think that this thing is, so there is more than that. That's why you now saw that Soludo, after that, the military tried, police and DSS, with all their checkpoints everywhere, nothing was ending. So he now went back to the local people, the vigilante, who are people who live in the area, who live at home, and who know how these things operate. How come now, within just 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks of setting up the Agbone Chamber Squad, look at what they've been able to find out. Look at even to Asaba, getting that 6-man gang in Asaba. It wasn't them, it was in conjunction with the police and DSS. So that tells you that in dealing with all these issues, all politics is local. So you have to go down to the roots, the grassroots. If you want to finish crime, if you want to deal crime a deadly blow, if you want to destroy crime, if you want to eradicate crime, go local, start from the roots, locally. Then you will score a string of successes, and that's why you see what is going on.
Well, very true. Ambassador Vansufele, please speak to us on the consequences of some of these things. A particular community in Asaba, and I guess their chief or something came up to say that anyone practicing okit or whatever it is should not be someone who is outside of Asaba. It should be indigenous of that place that should practice that traditional worship and all. Don't you think this would further break us apart? Because right now it's becoming more like people who are coming from outside or neighboring states are the one causing problem within most states and communities.
Well, why this is difficult to analyze? It's difficult to analyze because you don't know the true traditional worshippers, and you cannot differentiate them from those who are using humans for rituals, or those who are doing blood money or whatever you call it. Okay, so by the time you want to cast one out, the adherents of those traditions will tell you that you cannot stop everyone, okay, from going to the river to play, or to tell you that that tradition in one hand when you try to get hold of those. And then for someone to come out and say that outsiders should not practice a religion, and you can't really execute that because there's freedom of religion in the country. So everybody has the right to practice whatever religion they feels and they want to practice. That's why I say it is broad, it is technical, because people will hide under that phrase to commit crime. Okay, because it's not an offense actually to worship. But it becomes an offense when you use human beings, okay, as sacrifice or as items of sacrifice or items of worship. Okay, so that becomes really very difficult to go by the general sense. But this nation, we need to sensitize people that there is nothing like blood money. It's an illusion. Okay, there's nothing like that. You can't. The way to making money, okay, is quite defined. Okay, you learn the skill, you learn the trade, you appropriate yourself, you either go to school, do something, that you acquire knowledge from, and then put that into work, and then work smart and intelligently. In so doing, you build wealth from small to big. But people are not ready for that. People want that illusory part of it. Okay, where they can just, by magic wand, find money, spark somewhere. That wouldn't have been the way to go. Find money, so what they do now is, the native doctors now tell them to go and bring this, go and bring that. Some will take their children, some will take their wives to go and sacrifice to some deities so that their businesses will be booming and money will not be coming and all that. So the component of the human person, the kind of education this society, is giving, okay, to a citizen is a very wrong one, a very bad one. Nobody would have done so much in that line to discourage it by, showcasing the consequences of, engaging in that kind of thing, wherein the player becomes mad, or his eyes are prematurely or something. And in some cases, they lose it too. He gets scot-free and all that. So at the end of the day, I don't know what it stems from their background too. A lot of people around that there's a cultic dimension to it too.
All right.
Where people are lured into occultism and the rest of they practice all these things. They seem to have to do something because once an act of omission assumes a dangerous proportion, the jurisprudence of criminal law is that the state must, as a matter of fact, levy penalty for non-compliance when they come up with rules and regulations or legislations to curb that dangerous issue or that reference.
All right, very well. Just before I let you go, on the Daily Trust newspaper, you can equally speak on we must get communities to defend themselves. DSS DG. What do you think about that? Whereas we gone to a position where communities need to start defending themselves, and no longer the authorities doing it on behalf of them.
Well, you don't even need the DSS DG to tell you that. Because the security apparatus has broken down irretrievably. Is it the police you want to rely on to protect you? The police that tell victims of kidnappers, to loved ones of victims of kidnappers to go and pay ransom? Or some of the policemen that collude with the kidnappers itself? Or those who sell guns to them and the rest of that? Is that the one? Are they the ones you want to rely on? Or who exactly do you want to rely on? Is it the soldiers that you cannot reach? Those that are under command, if there's no command, they cannot move. Okay? Are they the ones you want to reach out to? Or is it a vigilante in the villages where old men, retired old men, are the ones who are used or who are available to be recruited into the vigilante of communities? Okay, who exactly? So at the end of the day, people will have to defend themselves, rightly so.
Okay.
And that is why the senator from my constituency, moved that, was talking about that senseless bill of Nigeria bearing arm, which is going to confound the entire issue completely. Okay, so I'm talking front and back now because in one breath I'm saying Nigerians have to defend themselves. But there's a bill in the house that says people should have allowed to bear arms, and I'm also against it too.
Which is conflicting actually.
So I don't know. Yes, I'm saying I don't know where I stand on this particular analysis, and the reason is because both ends will lead to crisis. Yes, both ends will lead to crisis. It might even be worse when you now say everyone should carry arms. It might even be worse because you will have more kidnapping in that regard. Because when people have arms in their house and they are hungry, when they have guns, but the moment you give a citizen a gun, you are no longer in charge as a state.
Very well.
Absolutely. You are not in charge as a state. You understand? Come to America here, you see the battle. It's complete war for you to be able to take up those legislations. So it's better they won't sign it at all. We have to look at countries that have done it and how well have they failed.
Very true.
Before we decide to do it, when we know our own tendencies are much more extreme. Okay, so I don't know where I stand on this, but all I know is that one way or the other, okay, government should provide security halfway. The people should provide it. I would have said government should provide the whole something, but I'll be deceiving myself because it's not possible in this our country and our society where poverty is dealing with people in ways that is not something. So when you give a man arm and he's hungry, he will carry that arm and go and do roadblock.
Very true. So, Emeka, your take on this particular matter just before we leave?
Well, I think yes, that the people should be mobilized to defend themselves because I've been involved in such, situation where, community.
What's the gravity of defending themselves that you mean?
No. You have to take care of, you have to make arrangements, get vigilantes from the state government, and you have to support them.
With arms?
Well, I don't need to go into all those things, but you have to support them. But whatever you are doing should be to the knowledge of the police, working with the police. So I think the Nigerian police by now should have actually gone beyond just bearing arms, checkpoints and all, to an institution. You understand? And I think that is the major challenge they have. They think they should just retain that role of the lead internal security agent and just stay there. No, you grow. You have to grow. You are not a broiler. You have to grow. To now become Nigerian police that will give back to state police. Okay. That will give back to community policing. That will give back to people policing. So right now, what you need to do is in communities, in different communities, train people on security awareness. The police should be doing that. They should be organizing security talks with people. Organizing security awareness, with companies, with organizations, with, community groups, with different associations. Go into markets, talk to them. That's what the police should be doing. Don't just sit in the police station and waiting for people to bring cases. Go out to the public. Reach out to the public. Enlighten them, that the police are your friend. So that you can shed that toga of, mistrust and suspicion. So with that, you cannot tell the people, okay, basic security, the people can handle basic security issues. Like I'm talking about my own, you understand, my situation, and of course we're able to put the threats down, So what am I saying? There are basic things. For instance, in a community, a solar light now, for instance, costs around 25,000, 30,000, basic solar lights. Now, you come to communities, you see the whole place dark when there's no light. And what is 30,000? If a community, if they can put money together, maybe 5,000 pounds or 2,000 or 3,000, right? They can get solar light, at least light up the community. That's the beginning. Then there are other things that the police can teach. If we become a security conscious, nation, the police will have more respect. But the situation where they know that police, those ones, the government needs to also take people who are conversant with postmodern technologies in security management, so that it will be easier to secure the nation. Because if you see something, you say something. All these kidnappers and the rest of them, people do this. People see them. People know when they come into a community. People know. There are people who see them, but because they are afraid. Like the barrister said that if they go to the police station now and report such a thing, the information will pass to those criminals. But where there is a synergy between the police and the community, you will see that rogue policemen, will be identified and flushed out of the system. And then it will be easier to police the system. Look at what is happening in Anambra. It is people from the communities, long before Agune Chamber, the communities had vigilante groups. But now the government has centralized it. And look at what they are doing. People are now carrying megaphones everywhere.
Yeah.
If you know you are this or you are that, better leave our community because we'll flush you. I can tell you for free that people are even going to different areas where people with suspicious character live. And they are telling them that, listen, we in this, quarter, like they call it Ogbe, we don't want you anymore. We don't want to say we are just telling you in advance, we're giving you 1 week to leave, or else whatever happens to you, you take it. So when you do that, when there is community pressure, you see criminals, they cannot easily stay around though.
Which is what the Nigerian police were actually supposed to do.
Nigerian police should actually be, if you see any criminal, any suspicious looking person, community gather and tell him you don't want him, and then let us know. Of course, the person is not foolish now, he will run away.
All right, it's actually not strange that the DSS DG is saying this. Remember, Emeka, he was the same person that said first class
should be conscripted.
Should be put into
no. That's DSS. Now, let me tell you, the ordinary people on the street, you see all these people in the markets, porters and the rest of them, those women selling, street traders, they are very good sources of intelligence. You think they don't know anything, they're illiterate. It's such people you should train. Because they hear a lot of things, they see a lot of things, and they can be of help to you. Is it somebody in first class who will be blowing grammar that you want to put no. Now in this age that people are developing AI, that you want to now increase the human element. No, you just you spoil things.
Very true. I think we just have to end it at this time. And thank you so very much, Barrister Van Sofeli. Mekamadonago, thank you so
very
much. Yeah, so both gentlemen will be here to take us on our main conversation when we return. 2FACE'S mother begs Natasha Osawaru to leave her son. That in a bit. Don't go anywhere. of San Valentino. Today, February 14th, and which is the feast of Saint Valentine, which we popularly know as Saint Valentine's Day. We welcome you back to Enterprise Friday, right here on Enterprise Television. Let's get to our main conversation today. Rose Idibia, the mother of veteran singer Innocent, popularly known as 2FACE'S Idibia, has raised the alarm that Nigerians should help her beg Edo State lawmaker Natasha Osaworo to leave her son. She made appeal in a video that went viral on Thursday evening. According to Mrs. Idibia, 2FACE is presently not in his right frame of mind due to the divorce proceedings with his estranged wife, Annie. In the viral video, she said, "Good evening, Nigerians. My name is Mrs. Rose Idibia, the mother of 2FACE. This message is for Miss Natasha Osaworo of Edo State. I am calling on all mothers in Nigeria to help me beg her to free my son. My son is going through a divorce process and he is clearly not in his right senses now. I know my son well. That is not my son. Please, Natasha, the beads you put on his hands and on his neck, remove them and free him," she said, end quote. The revelation follows his recent separation from his wife Annie Idibia, with the singer expressing his intention to take things further with Osaworo. Speculations about 2FACE and Natasha's relationship had been growing after 2FACE was seen at the Edo State Assembly, and a video surfacing showing the two together at the Lagos club. It's worthy of mention that Osaworo is a politician and member of the Edo State House of Assembly, representing the Ego constituency under the People's Democratic Party. She was elected in April of 2023 and is from the Ego local government area of Edo State. Now let's have our conversation. We still have Pastor Van Sufeli and Emeka Madunago. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
All right. So I guess this fits into the Valentine's Day, actually. But this time in reverse, we were supposed to, celebrate and, enjoy ourselves because it's the St. Valentine's Day. But in the home of the Idibias, it's really not Valentine's there. Pastor Van Sufeli, please speak to us what this means, especially for this lawmaker. How bad is the situation for her, especially with regards to her perception right about now?
Well, 2FACE is someone that just expressed her, her lack of support or her refusal to support that relationship. Given that, according to her son is not herself, and she's also insinuating that the woman under reference, Natasha, must have used beads or some artifacts or whatever he calls it to put 2FACE under that condition, under which and that because he's also going through the divorce proceedings, that Nigerians should
Are you still there, Barrister? Okay, I think we're having a little bit of a network glitch there. Are you still there, Barrister? Okay, I think we have to fix that, before we let Barrister have his say. Emeka Madunago, speak to us on this particular matter. 2FACE is 49 years old, and it's often said that a man would continue to remain a child once the parents are alive, obviously. So there's nothing wrong if the mother of 2FACE would come and support the son, even if he's 49 years old.
Well, I really pity the woman. I feel for the woman because, the issues concerning 2FACE, have really not been, something that any parent would be, would just look away from. That's why you see the parents of, celebrities, the parents of celebrities, I feel for them. I wonder how it will be, as a parent of a celebrity child. I'm not talking of whether controversial or even just normal celebrity. Every day in the name of your child is in the news, not maybe for tech discoveries or AI, but because you were in a club, or you were seen with one girl, or you just rolled out a car, and all of those things. Such things bother me as a parent. Such things bother me as a parent, and I don't know how parents of such celebrities cope. So this kind of a thing, for the mother, 2Face, you just anything positive about 2Face hardly receives, hardly trends. 2Face became a brand ambassador for one popular product recently. It didn't make any big deal. In fact, interestingly, it was this Hilda Baci, who had that record, of longer marathon cooking. That was even highlighted more than 2Face. It's only when you see the TV commercial, you see Hilda Baci, you now see 2Face. That's even how some people got to know that he was signed on by that brand.
So you mean he is losing his relevance? Is that what you're saying?
Not losing his relevance. It's such a way that it's as if it's only the negatives that make 2Face trend. And for me, it's worrisome, because as a journalist, I feel there are certain times as journalists, we even advise people. Now wait a minute, you yourself now try. Even when we talk to politicians sometimes, say, look, it's not right. You should also build confidence in the people. You should build trust with the people. It's not every time all the people know about you is that you are a this, you are a that, your politicians are thieves and all that. Also try and do some positive things that can take away some of the negativity, away, the negative publicity away from you. So in this case, I think family members need to really help him. He's a man, he's a girl, he's 49 years. At 49 years, what are you still telling a man about about women? He can even have a harem and all of that. But I think when I saw that video of him and the lady, I felt the divorce proceedings don't go so quickly. So I felt, did he have a lawyer? I thought he should have a lawyer as a top celebrity, advising him that this kind of video is not right.
The lady herself is a lawyer, so she understands better. So.
We're not talking about the lady. 2Face it can be any lady. We're talking about 2Face. 2Face is the person in the eye of the storm, not the lady. So 2Face is the one who said he's having divorce, is cutting ties with his wife. They are going to divorce. It's not the lady. So
the lady too. The lady too will need to count the cost of that relationship.
How?
Because she has to count the cost too, because the man of that reference have been one who is notorious for having multiple women around him. Okay, coupled with his status as a celebrity. Okay, now this relationship that she is going into right now is this secured one that she has to count that cost, because I don't think this is the end of the road for 2Face. of philandering. Okay, so that's what I'm saying, because when things are starting up early like this, people hardly look at the long-term value and effect of that.
Absolutely.
Now you already have parental rejection. There's going to come a time when the parties involved will get tired of themselves, and even the record that 2Face have already, which is peculiar to many men, not just him. That lady needs to count the cost of that relationship very, very well. And to carry the House of Assembly of the state into the matter, and then I think they should just focus on their personal life and leave the state out of this problem.
But it's not possible to exfoliate her position as the majority. She's the chief whip, I guess.
No, I think deputy majority.
The deputy majority leader. It's not possible to exfoliate that position from her personal life. Yes.
It's not possible, but I think that angle to her should be downplayed. Should be downplayed because she's making a choice. She's not making that choice for the assembly. She's not making that choice, and the State House of Assembly have no right whatsoever to ask her. So it asks for me to go further or retreat or pull out, okay, because it's actually her personal life. So that is what I meant by Because the media have been, because of the sensationalism, okay, the media have been projecting that story with this state out of assembly. Because also, 2FACE'S visited the state out of assembly a day before it was unveiled that why the money was because of, and to say that the divorce proceedings is still ongoing, and then it's out there for another, the same issue again, it leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah, speak to us on the implications. Speak to us on the legal implication of a divorce proceeding still ongoing, and the person under reference is off to another relationship. How do we interpret it legally?
Well, the no-one has said that because the legal proceeding is ongoing, you cannot have another relationship. Except only when that marriage that had not yet been dissolved was contracted under the Act. Under the Act, I mean, if they had, conducted that marriage under the Act through a registry and all that, what the public call court marriage, that is the only ground upon which is not allowed to go and get another woman during the pendency of this divorce. Okay. But I think what 2FACE'S contracted was just customary marriage. And under customary marriage, you can marry as many women as possible thereafter, during or after divorce or whatever it is. You understand? So I don't think that I want legal implication. That marriage is not under the Act. If it will be under the Act, then there will be a restriction order from the court or at the instance of the petitioner. Okay, at the instance of the respondent, right, because 2FACE'S the petitioner ahead. So at the instance of the respondents to, curtail him from that act, okay. But in the absence of that, there is nothing really illegal about what he's doing, as long as the marriage is contracted under the titular custom.
Very true. There's nothing illegal about what 2FACE'S is doing, but of course, definitely there's a moral issue.
Morally wrong.
Yeah, there's lots of moral issues to that particular matter. And make a speak on that.
Sorry, 2FACE'S has never told you he's a moral crusader.
But he
So when you're talking about moral
general perception,
yeah.
he's a celebrity. Lots of people look up to him, especially young people. Yes, yes, definitely.
But sorry, Barrister, what kind of influence?
Oh,
Is philandering an influence that can be that can be presented as a form of influence per se?
So what I mean is this: a lot of people follow 2FACE'S. A lot of the people who are die-hard fan of his, who whenever he becomes a brand ambassador, every people abandon what they normally use just because 2FACE'S. I can actually tell you that I am using, I don't know what to call a brand name now. I as a person can tell you that I'm using Puma. I'm using this Puma just because they will do. Just because they will do an ambassador. That's just it. I've never used Puma as a brand.
wow.
But I'm using this just because Davido is an ambassador. That's just one among many. There are people who are influential, who are celebrity, who the public so much align with whatever they say or do. You understand? Now it does not matter what their character is or what their moral position is on the issue. So that is why in the psychology of fail, okay, they use celebrities to promote certain brand, because when that is done, it brings a lot of people who are their followers to that brand, and that's just for commerce and capitalism. Okay, that's when I say as someone who have influence, that is what I meant. Okay, as someone who have influence, it is not morally okay for him to do that in the dream, because a lot of people will toe that line, may want to do that same thing he's doing, if you know what I mean. When they have the opportunity to do so, they will say 2FACE'S did it. You understand? Are you better than 2FACE'S? Do you know more than 2FACE'S? You hear things that will surprise you.
Yes.
Okay?
True, very true.
That's what I mean by the influencer, someone who has influence.
Very true, very true.
All right, Barrister, just I would love you to continue on that particular note. You are a child's right crusader, and 2FACE'S has about 5 kids now. 3 with 1, 2 with another person, another 2. He has 7 actually, and he's moved on to another one, and possibly they might have yet other children. Speak to us. Don't you think there is some sort of child mental abuse on the lives of his children already, knowing what their father is going through? PTSD is the norm now. Speak to us on this matter.
Yeah, so that is why I said earlier on, just not too long ago, that the lady should count the cost of this relationship. It's part of what I meant by that. You see, because you see, for abuse, let me address the issue of abuse of children first. The father's philandry or casanovic misadventures does not amount to child abuse for the children. It does not, by our law, by the Child Act. The issues are spelled out clearly. You shouldn't use children for, you shouldn't take them to go hawk, expose them to pornography. They have the right to name. You don't use them for child labor, and all those issues are listed. They are quite very expressive. But whether a man cannot take whether a man shouldn't take another woman as a wife because of the children does not in law constitute an abuse. Okay, per se.
Even if it is on the lives of the children, because you might not know their mental state right now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I said, but by implication or by moral standing, okay, that may affect their perception to what you call marriage. Okay, because if their father is the #1 role model, okay, so and if what their father is involved in is getting multiple women pregnant, marrying a son, discarding son, and having children all over the places, there's a sense in which the children, 1 or 2 of them might imbibe that and may want to, continue in that line in future, which is a perceptual damage to that child, morally speaking. May not be a legal spelled out that can be enforced against the father. Okay, that's what I mean. So this thing is doing now, it's just really off track, and that is why the mother came out early to make that statement and to make that allegation of take off the beads and take off the whatever it is she has said. That's a mother's own way of protecting his child, or to yearn for the protection of his child by her own level of understanding of the issue. What's wrong with his son? Said he knows his child and that is not him. Okay? So as much as I am not going to put so much weight on that, because it is neither here nor there. Truly, whether there's some kind of voodoo, as it's neither here nor there. And because even if it's there, it cannot be proven by any stretch of imagination or by the evidential and probative value of course of action. The person who should do right, she wants to go ahead and the court. And if you face, also want to go ahead with it, so come to court, and both of them will let me get it. And the action of the practice I mean, now that they have enough time to decide truly whether this is the way to go or not.
All right, thank you so very much. Emeka, my last question. Let's not forget or pretend that men are not going through so much. Now, every attention is going to the woman in concern, and all of that. Lots of empathy for the woman, for Annie Idibia, and so on and so forth. But men are very slow to speaking despite the fact that they go through so much pain. 2FACE'S Idibia is not the only one. We've had Yoli Doche, who's equally gone through the same thing. Ayo Maku, that's AY, who's equally who's going through the same thing. With so many other men equally going through the same thing. And every one of them have come up to say that they've been mentally abused by the woman they have before them. So how do you think we can better protect the mental state of men who obviously are going through so much of what 2FACE has gone through, but of course when they speak up, it seems like they are the one to be blamed in this matter, while most times they are the casualty?
Well, I'll just say very simply that we are Africans, and African men should be African men. One of the attributes, that our forefathers handed over to us was the ability to manage their homes. They didn't have perfect homes. By the way, our forefathers had many wives, but they could keep their homes. Some of our fathers had children outside their marriages, but their marriages did not scatter. They were still able to keep the home front while still maintaining the other, you get what I mean?
Be specific, please. What exactly was it that our fathers actually put in place that made it possible for them to keep that many number of wives and still were able to keep their family together that our young ones are not doing now?
One, our fathers had better crisis management. They were better able to hold their families together. You might say, okay, some of them were brutal, they were flogging their wives and all of that. That was the extreme. But that character, that moral fiber, they were able to demonstrate it to their wives that, look, I'm the one in charge here. I will lead this home and I will show good example, to my wives and to my children. Then, again, they were able to provide for their families. But today, we hear about what is the woman bringing to the table. What is this? We are going to split bills 50-50 and all of that. Yes, if such has to happen, maybe because the man's financial capabilities are not, there should be a kind of understanding. But the situation where you find out these days men just relax and let their wives run the home, it will, these things will not help a marriage to grow. Then 3, one problem today is that people are not patient. I was reading some things, you read some things on social media. I read something this morning. Somebody said he and his wife, they met on TikTok. And then, he came to, they met, and then he asked his wife for the they've been married for just 2 months. He asked the wife for the password to her phone, and she refused to give him. And the man said, okay, was not asking a lawyer, on Facebook, that what do I do? I'm tired, I want to dissolve the marriage. And like I said, it's not like that now. Depending on if you married based on this or this or this, you have to need like 2 years, for you to get. So I now say, is it so easy? There was another one again that came up, that the wife, because he's living abroad, because the wife claimed that she was a nurse. He met her on TikTok, that she was a nurse. And then when he got here, he found out that she was this, what they call Eliza nurse, this auxiliary nurses that work in health centers. And that these are red flags. This is too many lies. This, that, and the other. Blah, blah, blah. The wife said she was this. And he found out she wasn't that. Blah, 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 blah. So he's ending the marriage. I was forced to comment. I said, is it so easy to just end? If she's an Eliza nurse, right? And she's, then take her, send her to nursing school now. At least build her up to what you want. What is that so easy? You just get married. And then, do you know the things our fathers endured from our mothers? The things our mothers endured from our fathers. Those of us in marriage, do you know what we are enduring? What our wives are enduring from us? Do you know the pressures, societal pressures, family pressures, and all of that? But look, running away isn't a better option unless there is violence involved in it. Emotional, domestic abuse, domestic violence, emotional abuse. But you see, all of these issues, there has to be that strong moral fiber. That's why some of us have been, in marriage, going for so long. Why? Because look, as human beings, we must face challenges. When we face challenges in our businesses, do we run away? when we face challenges in different places where we do that, where we work or where we relate with people, do we run away? So I think, there should be emphasis on, people should be more understanding, more patient, long suffering, and know that remove your marriages from social media. Some of these celebrities, their problem is every little thing you want to come and tell us. We are not interested. We are trying to, make a living, pay our bills, pay our children's school fees, take care of our bills. And you are disturbing us with, like one of my uncles was saying one time, you gotta tell your neighbor, my wife served me bread this morning. She didn't put egg. For me, she knows I like a scrambled egg. She put boiled egg. And your neighbor has not seen eggs in maybe 3 years. Your neighbor cannot even afford bread. What do you think your neighbor will tell you? He will tell you to destroy the marriage. So people should be more discerning, more careful, and more patient. Marriage is not just what you just. No. What you see these days, no. It's that is not. Because like I said, we are Africans. I know Western culture may allow for certain things, but I also don't think that, in the Western culture, they will encourage you, if it doesn't work, at the slightest challenge, walk away. No. Not all of us Africans that have customs, that have traditions, and then people just become, no, is it so easy? Although I know somebody, they wedded on Saturday. By Monday, the woman flung her ring away, that she wasn't anymore interested. I was very young then, I said, But
it's in Nigeria that we raise the flag of marriage so high. You know how much it costs to marry here? It's $200. That's the only thing you pay to marry here. And now you don't do anything to divorce it. I'm married today, and by Monday afternoon, you call it off. There's no marriage that stays here. As you are going to, you already know when it's going to end. So that is so in Africa, we really raise the flag of marriage. Africa is the only continent that is keeping the sanity of what marriage ordinarily is supposed to be by institution. In every other place, it is not viewed as an institution. It is viewed like just
a transaction.
Trying to make things work and destroy anything they want to destroy.
So do you think in Africa we should move on? Is that what you're insinuating?
No. I think that in Africa we shouldn't copy the West of marriage. Let's copy them on technology and institutional framework that are working, infrastructural framework and all that, and maybe some part of laws. But I'm parenting, I'm living together. I don't because here they just, you know what they do when they are parents are old? They just take partner and not put in one of people, so government take care of them. There's no law on ground that compels them to visit. You can imagine. No legislation at all that compels them to visit. So they see like he gave birth to me, and he's lived his life, he's done, I'm on, I will be done soon, and someone presents me. So the level of casualization of relationship and human cohabitation here, I do not wish it for any country. You see, I'm also surprised how they're able to develop with this level of casualization of relationship, how they're able to develop this faster. Or is it the heavy weather we face around marriage in Africa that is going on backward? I don't know, it's just a puzzle.
Very, very true, and the fact remains, as humans, of course, we will live in the world, and which means no one is immune to challenges, relationship challenges, fracas, feud and all, but the fact still remains that when you find someone you truly love, you spend time with them, you are able to tolerate with them. Most importantly, and especially, today is St. Valentine's Day. So that is the most reason why we should, of course, celebrate with ourselves. If you don't have anybody, celebrate with yourself. Yes, this is St. Valentine's Day. Thank you so very much, Mecca Madonako, for being here. Pastor Francis Felix, thank you as always.
My pleasure.
All right, people, that's just about the time we have I would love you to visit us if you may. You can always find us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Igwebike, and thank you for watching. But most importantly, have yourself a very wonderful Valentine. Bye-bye.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth. 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 Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.